Good morning, YouTube, and all you Star Wars fans out there. My name is Rachel, and I love Star Wars. I love everything about Star Wars, and with this channel, I hope to talk a lot about Star Wars. And I've been wanting to start this channel for a long time. I really didn't have time in the past to do it, but now I do have time. So I am thinking that I am going to start by talking about the latest episode of The Mandalorian, the season finale, The Rescue. It was fantastic. Oh my gosh. Now I am quite sure that all of you have already watched every reaction video, every episode breakdown, you know, all the Easter eggs and everything that was going on in that episode. So I'm not going to talk so much about that. I do want to say, though, that I was extremely happy to see that Luke Skywalker was the Jedi that came to save Grogu. When I saw that X-Wing land, I cried like a baby! I'm not even kidding! And I'm not a crier, okay? But I was crying. Crying. And then I saw the green of the lightsaber, and I'm like, oh yes, this is totally Luke. This is totally Luke. And I saw the black glove, and I was like, ah! I scared the crap out of my dogs and cats, because I was like screaming in excitement. And you know what? I got to tell you, Lucasfilms and Disney heard the cries of the fans on this one. I am quite sure of it, because they gave us the Luke Skywalker that we know and love, that we, oh my gosh, I mean, the way that he was kind of mirroring what we saw Darth Vader do in the hallway during Rogue One. Wow. Like father, like son. I was just like, oh, badass, buddy, badass, yes. And of course, I did cry when Grogu said his goodbyes to the Mandalorian. Yeah, when he touched Din's face, I was just like, oh my gosh, I just can't. And I cried. So I think that season 3 is going to bring us some very interesting things. Clearly, that we're going to have to wrestle with the issue over who is actually in charge of Mandalore now. Is it the Mandalorian? Will it be Bo-Katan? Are they going to have to fight each other? I hope not. I hope they don't have to, like, I hope they can come to a compromise, because I like both of those characters so much. I love the Mandalorian, but I also love Bo-Katan. I love her so much. I love Katie Sackhoff. I think that she's an amazing actress. Loved her on Battlestar Galactica. Love. And up until The Mandalorian, Battlestar Galactica was my favorite science fiction TV series. Seeing her reprise her role as Bo-Katan, you know, because she's the voice of Bo-Katan on Star Wars Rebels. I was super happy, you know, that she was the person who was actually playing that character. That just made me giggle with joy. So I hope they don't kill her off. I hope that, you know, we're able to come to some kind of compromise there, but it'll be interesting to see, you know. And what's going to happen with Moff Gideon? Are we going to see him get totally beat down and interrogated for information? Is he going to somehow weasel his way out of things? I mean, what is going to go on there, you know? And what's going to happen to Grogu? You know, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, you know, saying, oh, I hope he wasn't part of that group that was with Ben Solo, you know. I don't think he was. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen to Grogu. I want to know what's going to happen to Grogu. I'm hoping that we get to see Luke training him. And you know what I really hope? I hope that we learn a little bit more about Grogu and Yoda's race. I'd like to know more about this race. I'm starting to wonder if Yoda's race is created by the Force. Have any of you guys thought about that? Like maybe they don't have parents, they just appear? I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. I hope we find out. So I love The Mandalorian. I have been loving this series so much, so much. You know, I'm old enough. I'm an old lady. I'm old enough that, you know, when I saw Return of the Jedi in the theaters, one of the things that I thought to myself was, well, now what? Just because Palpatine's dead doesn't mean that these guys are just going to be like, right, well, you know what? I wanted to retire anyways. I'm going to go to Hawaii. You know, I'm sure they didn't just stop being who they were, especially the troopers that were still clone, right? I mean, I think a lot of them probably aged out of their positions, but there still had to be some out there. And I mean, there was such a die-hard loyalty to the Empire. I just couldn't imagine that it was just going to disappear. And when the Force Awakens came out, we saw we saw the First Order, which I kind of assumed would be a thing, but they were so put together and so polished. And I was like, well, how did that happen? How did the Republic let that happen? What exactly happened between Return of the Jedi and now that this is a thing, and that really bothered me. So I feel like The Mandalorian is kind of filling in those gaps, which I'm really excited about, to see how that story is unfolding. And it all makes sense. It all makes sense. The Empire fractured. Like when Alexander the Great died and his 4 generals kind of just took over different parts of the world. Each general took a different part. I feel like that's what's happened with the Empire. Whoever has the biggest and most guns usually is the one that's in control of an area, right? And the New Republic just didn't have the infrastructure to be able to knock out the remnants of the Empire. So of course they're all over the Outer Rim controlling things, waiting to be reassembled back into a cohesive unit. And that's exactly what the First Order was. And that's exactly what the Empire was waiting for. All these remnants of the Empire. So there's so much that they can do with this story. This whole Wild West feel of The Mandalorian is so much fun. I so love it. And I think that Grogu is probably the most easily loved character since R2-D2. R2-D2 was really the last time we had a character that was smart and cute and funny in the way that Grogu is. So I know that they won't kill him off, or that we won't ever see him again, because he's too important to the fans. But how they're going to bring him back and what is he going to be like, that's what I'm interested to see. How are they going to tell this story, So yeah, that's just my thoughts right now. And that's really what this channel is going to be like. I'm not polished like some of the big guns out there who are talking about Star Wars. Some of my favorites, like Den of Nerds and Star Wars Theory, love those guys so much and really appreciate the effort and the thought that they put into their channels. They are both incredibly smart men of character. So I really appreciate everything that they have to say. So I don't want to parrot the things that they talk about. I want this to be more about like I want this to be more about the psychological things behind the characters and the mythology and kind of the meat and potatoes and details of what makes this story so rich and vibrant and loved. So, and I'll probably do that in my car as I'm driving to work every day. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And always May the Force be with you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.